Now, we can't talk about all the challenges the NSCDC is facing without looking at the proliferation of small and light weapons. So what do you make of this menace in the country?
Well, you agree with me that, that our borders are porous. And it is one of the concerns of our Minister, General Abraham Bello Nambazao. The reason that we visited ECOWAS, and we're looking for ways to make sure that we curb this movement of arms into Nigeria. And we're meeting very soon to make sure that how do we man our borders, to make sure that these arms coming in, where are they coming from? How do we stop them?
Now, this is a time when the security challenge, the national security challenge, entails the collaboration of all security agencies now in the country. And has the NSCDC any role in contributing to the to curbing the henchmen attack in north central Nigerian states, especially Benue, Taraba, and Nasarawa?
Well, I remember that in 2015, the Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audobi, came and met our minister, and he came up with the idea of establishing cattle ranches and colonies, cattle colonies, to curb these herdsmen and farmers clashes. And we set up a 5,000 man unit called the Agro Rangers. And since then, we are waiting for the federal government to establish all these colonies so that we curtail the movement of these cows, cattle. Once the movement is curtailed, I'm very sure that all these Fulani herdsmen clashes will be brought to the barest minimum. It is then we will know, is this clash really between the herdsmen and the farmers, or where are they coming from? Now, we have set up the 5,000 units in the states and everywhere. We have agro rangers. And we're just waiting for the government now to set up the cattle colonies or the cattle ranches so that we'll take over. And we are also given the mandate of providing physical security to agro-allied investors. Now we have our men in about 42 farms all over the country, providing physical security. Go to so many countries, even Ghana now, they have cattle colonies. Cattle colony. Their movements, their movement is restricted. So if we have their movement restricted, then we'll know that who are those responsible for this crime.
So if you're saying that they are bandits, so why is the federal government establishing colonies for these bandits?
Well, what I know is that the Minister of Agriculture even said that even during the last regime of President Goodluck, some funds were released to different state governors to establish cattle colonies. So it's not a new idea. And for us to arrest this crisis now, we have to establish these cattle ranches or cattle colony. Let's curtail the movement of these cattle. It is then that we will know who are those responsible for this crisis in our society. There are security issues that cannot be discussed outside. Yeah. Sometimes we go into detail, investigate, and come out with our facts, and we know where to channel these facts to. This so-called herdsmen have been there for quite a long time, and we've not been having clashes with them. Like I was listening to a paper delivered by one General Samson yesterday, and I was saying that these herdsmen have been there for a long time in Plateau State. They used to come and they will leave their villages, go and stay with them. There hasn't been clashes. Why now?
Now, the mandate, the statutory mandate of the NSCDC has been misconstrued. Even in some points has been confused with that of the police and other security agencies. So what exactly is the statutory mandate of the NSCDC?
The mandate is in the area of disaster management, rescue, relief, rehabilitation, integration, and reintegration of disaster victims. That has been the mandate of the Corps worldwide. Nigeria is the 66th member nation registered on the list of nations members of the International Civil Defense. Now, coming to Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps was established in the year 1967 during the Civil War. It started as Lagos Civil Defense. Then it had three mandates. Number one, it was established to cater for the injured soldiers from the war front. Number two, it was also saddled with the mandate of teaching the civil populace precautionary measures in case of emergencies and disasters. So while the soldiers were there at the war front, we were taking care of the home front. So thirdly, it also served again as a reservoir for the military in case of shortage of manpower. The military, they recruit from the Civil Defense Corps. So now, after the Civil War, the Corps was now brought under the Federal Ministry of Internal Affairs, which is now Ministry of Interior. It was given ad hoc assignment there and there, and is spread all over the country. In 2013, the bill, 2003 precisely, the bill establishing the Corps into a full paramilitary outfit was passed into law by the National Assembly. Now, it still maintains that its international mandates of disaster management, of which is known for worldwide. Now, added to that, it was now given additional mandates of protection of critical infrastructure and national assets. When you talk of this critical infrastructure and national assets, you agree with me that, well, if you say it here, our attention goes to the oil pipeline, but it goes beyond that. It includes the power lines, communication masts, the roads, the bridges, and so on. And now it's been expanded to even includes investments in the agro-allied sector of the economy. And also the Minister of Mines was in our ministry. He came and met our minister and said the government wants to diversify into the solid mineral sector, and we have so many illegal miners around. So we are given the mandates of protecting and making sure that we bring illegal mining in Nigeria to the barest minimum. So the mining sites are coming in now, and in the area of disaster management, we find that we've deployed about 5,000 of our men to the northeast to make sure that areas liberated by the military will restore peace there. So the third mandate now is in the area of registration, supervision, and monitoring of private guards companies. You know, when you go by the UN standards, the ratio of the police to civil populace is supposed to be 1 to 400. And today in Nigeria, you know, as at our last census, we are about 170 million, and today God knows how many we are.
Before we wind down this conversation, going forward, do we have a comprehensive security solution to the current crisis in the country?
Benga, we look at security as the business of only the security agencies. Security is your business and my business. If you have information on anything that you think will put Nigeria in danger, go to the security agencies and give us this information. It will assist us. But you sit down in your house and think that, no, security is the business of civil defense, police, army, and so on. Give us this information. It is your business, it is my business.
The Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Mr. Abdullahi Gana Muhammadu, thank you so much for making our time to be part of this episode of Question Time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Benga. You're welcome.
And that's it on this episode of Question Time from Channels Television. Now, what's your take on the NSCDC account of stewardship in the last 2 years? Please send us your comments on our social media platforms on your screen. Join us on another fresh episode of the show on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiru.